A final note on manipulating the user interface using JavaScript. And as you can see here, I have an empty file. The only thing that this file has is the styles that are being loaded from Bootstrap. Now I'm going to go ahead and add something from Bootstrap. This is one of the predefined elements. This is for breadcrumbs. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that into the file. And I'm going to remove this last sections here because we do not need them. And then I'm going to go ahead and reload the page. The page initially was blank. And now you can see there that we have breadcrumbs. The next thing that we're going to do is that we're going to add some on-click events. Let's add a couple of them and one more below. On-click. And now let's call some function. And what this function will do is that it will add an element to the UI dynamically. So let's call this one here simply 1. And the second one 2. And then what we're going to do is that we're going to create a target. Let's see, let's make it below the breadcrumbs. And this will be a div, and we will give it the ID of target. Simply to note that this is what we're targeting when we're loading some new user interface elements. Now in this case, as I mentioned, this is calling a function. On the first case on line 9, it is calling a function call 1. And line 10, it is calling a function call 2. So let's go ahead and write those functions. This is 1. And let's go ahead and write 2. Function 2. Now let's go ahead and add something to the UI. At first will be pretty simple. So the very first thing that we want to do is we need to get a handle on target. So we will do that by using document get element by ID. Here we will enter the ID of the div where we're going to add something. And in this case, it is target, right? So we will enter that. And then we will go ahead and add something to the UI. In this case, we're going to simply add something very simple. We're going to add inner.html, and we're just going to set the whole thing to hello world. Let's go ahead and add an h1 tag. So it'll be nice and big and we can see it. h1, and we'll say hello world. Okay. We'll do the exact same thing on the other function, except that we will change the message and we will say here, good morning. And now we've written 2 functions to be able to update the UI. So let's go ahead and reload that code. And let's go ahead and click on the first one. And if all goes well, we should see hello world. And as you can see there, we are now seeing hello world. And for the second one, we should see good morning. And now you can see there that we are dynamically loading content onto a target element. And so we can extend that to be able to load big blocks of HTML. And that's what we will do next. Before I get some of the HTML that I'm going to paste in, I'm simply going to note here my element, and I will call it card 1. And here I will use the indicator to note that I'm going to be writing a very long HTML string. And I will do the exact same thing for the second function, except I'll call this one card2 simply to tell them apart. And now I will get some sample HTML that I can put into that section. And we will get that from the same place. Let's go ahead and look for cards. And let's go ahead and scroll down the page to where we can have some colorful cards. And let's go ahead and take the first one here. Go ahead and copy that onto our first function. And as you can see there, now we could, when we call it, we will go ahead and set that HTML. So in this case, card 1. And let's go ahead and take the second one. And we will set it on the second function. And now we will go ahead and set the target to card 2. So to review, what we've done is we've created a long string of HTML that we will replace into the UI dynamically based on the function call that we make. So we're going to go ahead and reload the page. And now when I click on home, as you can see there, I get the blue card. When I click on library, I get the gray card. So this is a quick small demo showing you how you can create HTML dynamically and inject it onto your user interface.